All right. Let's see if we can lower that volume just a touch. Both for myself and for you. And hello. Hi, everyone. It is the final day of the month, which should inform all of you. I'm just going to double check everything that I posted everywhere. That it is the end of the month hangout. Which is always fun. If you're new to this, the way, which I think a lot of you are, the way this works is there are no rules. There's no rules. We can do whatever we want. We try to reflect the month that has been and the month that is coming up. Today it's Trans Day Visibility, which I didn't plan for when I made the schedule for this. So this is a sort of impromptu Trans Day Visibility thing. After this stream, I'm going to stream here for about an hour. And then about an hour after that, I'm going to hang out with my friend Katie Montgomery on her channel to try to raise some money for some good causes. And we'll talk. I have no idea what about. We haven't planned. It's gonna be chaos. It's gonna be fun. Some Trans Day of Visibility stuff that I apparently signed up for like a month ago and then forgot about. But that is roughly what we're going to do today. You know, reflect a little bit, look forward to what's happening. I'm so visible right now, it's insane. I am very opaque, not translucent, ironically. So, first of all, hi everyone. I hope that you're having a good time. I hope you're having a good Wednesday. Usually I do these streams on Sundays, in the middle of a weekend, but I figured because the weekend was like 4 days ago, I didn't want to wait too long between like the end of the month hangout and the actual end of the month, so I decided to do it on Wednesday instead. Is the volume good? Is the volume... Can you see me? Can you hear me? All important things. Poofy hair. I have very poofy hair today. Oh no, Pim. I hope things. I hope things are going are turning for the better very soon. But the other thing I do is also I try to just interact with my community as best as I can, basically. Talk trash, have a good time. There's no rules. We do whatever we want. But I try to answer some questions occasionally. I try to go on the occasional rant. It's gonna be good. I did just shower, so excuse any splotchiness and also my very poofy hair. Just wanted to check if you saw my follow-up comment in which I provided a source for the historical bear clock anecdote. I saw that. I haven't been able to look into it exactly, but I saw your follow-up and I can't wait to sort of dig into it. And if you don't know, for the general audience, apparently there's some sort of satanic bear in Siberia by the name of Satan that some Danish explorer found. It's a whole story. I'll look into it and see what I can find. But I did see the follow-up, and it's interesting, if nothing else. Yes, so let's try to dig in a little bit about the month that has been. General status update of the channel, because I for some reason, some people are really into that. So first of all, I made 2 videos this month. Technically, I made one at the end of last month, which one was that again? Just gonna quickly check out my own YouTube channel because I don't remember what kind of own videos I made. I made a video about free speech and PragerU, and less than a week ago I made a video about working too hard and productivity. So I made those, and they have been doing very well. They have been doing great. Boat. Yeah, boat. The boat happened this month too. I don't really have much to comment about the boat though. It's a boat. It got stuck. Now it's not stuck. We should put it back, but I don't know. Yeah, but anyway, I made those two. I've made those two videos. They've done fairly well. Yeah, I feel like 2021 is like a year when a lot more people are joining this little community that I've forced into creation. That I have bent into my own personal cult. That's not a thing that I should say on stream. Other than that, though, it's been a pretty standard month. Like not a ton of things have happened, which I'm thankful for. I'm thankful for when things are going well, and that's basically it. Yeah, I'm coming to terms with the fact that I've whenever I try to make short videos, they are at least 35 minutes long at this point. We Are Working Too Hard became almost 40 minutes long, which is wild. Like I used to be able to make shorter videos that were like 20 minutes long, but now it's like everyone is at least half an hour, which is fine. The YouTube algorithm seems to like that, and I like it to a point because it means I can sort of like get deep into the subjects that I want to talk about. Like I get the space to sort of dig into it, but it means more work though. And I don't like that, which is what my last video was about. What else? Yeah, you may have noticed, usually I release a video at the end of every month, roughly, like maybe a few days before the end, but this time I released a video like a week before the end of the month, and that's because I needed to give myself an extra week to work on the videos coming in April, because I'm making probably my longest video that I've ever made in April. I didn't plan for it to be that powerful to do that, but as I've started working on it a little bit now, I realized that I really need the time to do it. Right now it's looking close to like 2 hours long, which is not good. Usually I should, like, the way of old YouTube is to make things into parts, but parts is something that the algorithm fucking hates. So we'll see how that goes. But it is, fittingly enough for today, a trans video. I haven't made a trans video in longer than I care to admit, actually. It's been like 5 videos since I made a video about trans stuff. And it's going to be interesting. Yeah, a long bit. It's going to be a long one. It's going to be my magnum opus for this season of me and Mulder, so to say. Hello everyone. Hello. You got me into Stardew Valley, now I can't stop. Yeah, welcome to hell. I've also been stuck in Stardew Valley. I just got to Ginger Island, whatever that means. But yeah, that's one thing that I've been doing. Boat Stuck, sequel to Homestuck. It's not a cult though, for tax purposes. That's right, it's a church. It's hard to turn an academic essay into a short video once you quote and source properly. Yeah, that happens too much. Longe. Season finale. Freestanding parts. Freestanding parts is a good thing. That's something that I tried to do with my videos about propaganda and why people join the military, which are, you may not think they're connected, but they actually are, because I wanted to make a video series about like state violence. So made one about cop propaganda, and I made another one about why people join the military. Yeah, my video on why people want to join the military seems to be one that's like really picking up speed recently. Both when it came out and currently. A lot of people joined the community from that video specifically, which I'm very happy about. Finish Breath of the Wild. Still gotta try that game. Magnum opus. Yeah, so basically that's what I've been spending a lot of time recently on, trying to work on that beast of a video. I'm hoping to actually start recording even next week, and then it won't come out until April 30th, so that'll be a lot of time editing, which is going to need, because it's again one of my biggest things ever. But let's also talk about like the month that's coming up, right? Which I've already kind of started talking about. So starting today, again, like starting immediately after the stream, I'm going to be hanging out with Katie Montgomery on her charity stream. I wish I could like send you there somehow. Like I could, like from this stream, I could just send you there, but I don't think that's something I can do. That's like a Twitch thing. So I'm doing that like today, and then yeah, my upcoming streams after that is going to be like on the weekends. If you're a patron of mine, I publish my streaming schedule at like the first week of every month, so that's kind of when I plan that out. So like in a week or something, I'll publish something on Patreon that's public, so everyone can see, by the way. The video coming up, got that thing. I got my birthday coming up next month as well, on April 24th. Obviously I don't expect anything, because people already are huge fans and huge supporters, but what I do hope to do sometime in that gap, sometime in this like massive magnum opus work, I'm hoping to do a charity stream. I'm hoping to do some sort of charity stream for something, where I will try to do my grand strategy mega campaign thing. So I'm hoping to do that on by the end of the month. Maybe not on my birthday, but like maybe the week after, depending on how much like work I have to do on the video itself. Maybe I'll have to postpone it like to beginning of May, but like that's in the works. I've tried what's it called? I've done I've done actually 2 mega campaigns now on my own, just to like test compatibility, to test mods, to make sure that everything works. If you don't know what I'm talking about, there's a mega game. There's a game company that's called Paradox Interactive. They make history-based games, starting from like the year 800 basically. And then like in various games, it goes through all of human history, and you play as a country, as a kingdom basically. And by using like fan-made software, you can take the same playthrough and transfer it from game to game. So you can start playing as a Viking kingdom in the 800s, and then play that same empire in World War II, or like the 1800s, or things like that. It's very fun. So that's something that I'm going to do. Hopefully, that's on the plan. Do you know who you will play? I'll probably make a custom nation of some sort. Well, not an E4, but I'll make my own sort of thing. Probably gonna start somewhere in the Balkans or something. So that's happening. What else is happening? Imperator Rome. I'm never gonna play Imperator Rome. I don't like Imperator Rome. Me and I have the same birthday. Congratulations. Yeah, it seems like, I don't know, like, yeah. I know a fair amount of people who have the same birthday as I do somehow. Like it's common. Great to meet Adovia. Maybe. Is there any Crusader Kings 3 to E4 yet? Or is it only CK2? No, there's CK3. There's already CK3. That's probably what I'm gonna play. Hyper-translate visibility? Hell yeah. Again, I didn't really plan to make a translate visibility stream today. I sort of planned out the dates like a month ago, and then I didn't think about it. So, but thankfully, I'm going to support, I don't know, the community. I'm going to show my support to the trans community, of which I am part, with Katie Montgomery later. But that's after the stream. God, I feel like the last couple of months I haven't really had that much to say during these streams. Like I've usually there's like some big event that happened like in the last month, or there's some big event coming up, but now there's not really that much going. It's, you know, it's business as usual, which is a good problem to have. Thunder Dragon, oh god. Congrats on 100,000 on your transsexuals and sufferings event. Thank you. I'm very happy that that one finally got to 100,000. First video that I've ever made that got to 100,000, and why people join the military is probably going to be my second one. It's probably gonna hit it like this month. So it's been a wild couple of like, it's been a wild ride. Like it took like a year and a half for transsexuals and suffering to reach 100,000, and why people join the military is gonna take like 2 months. So we're moving up in the world. Especially these last couple of months. Like these longer videos seem to be hitting in a good way. What do you think of trans rights being a political football now? I feel like I joined a party during a melee. I don't know. Like I'm actually going to make my next video is going to be a lot about like current trans rights and current transphobia. So I'm like still in the middle of like research phase. I'm still in the middle of finding out like my own opinion on why things are the way they are right now. Obviously everything fucking sucks, and it's very unfortunate that this has become like such a hot political topic right now. I feel like I mentioned in some of my other like trans videos, I mentioned similar things that like like visibility on its own, appropriate for today, is like not really enough, because visibility on its own without like substantial like community support or protections just paints a target on trans people's backs, which is sort of what we've started seeing in like the UK and in the various parts of the US, and in Sweden, which is exactly what my video is about to talk about. Where I'm going to deconstruct the entire like movement of like anti-trans ideology, focusing mostly on like turfs. It's probably gonna be, it's my first video ever on turfism, so that'll be fun. You have a Crusader Kings 3 mod which sets it in the Iron Age. Oh my god. Get that big game YouTuber. I'm finally getting some sort of freaking like recognition. I'm never part of the tier list though, that people make all the time. Like I keep seeing you know, people make freaking tier lists of their favorite YouTubers on YouTube, and I see people, there's all sorts of people there. I'm never there. I wonder why. So I'm maybe one day. Although thankfully, maybe that's best, because I feel like the people who do tier lists are probably not the same people who are fans of my content, so win-win. Win for me, maybe. If the trend continues, a video will reach 100,000 in negative time. I wish. I saw someone ask earlier about like, and I completely lost the train of thought. I lost my train of thought just there instantly. Oh yeah, if I'm going to make a birthday stream this year, because I did that 2 years ago and I did last year with Abby Thorne from PhilosophyTube, who shares the same birthday as me, and we had a birthday stream together. But I'm probably not gonna have a birthday stream this year. I think this year I'm going to make. This year I have some like other special treats in store, and if I do something for my birthday, it's probably gonna be a bit like after the birthday itself, or I'm gonna like upload some like short joke video or something like that. But we'll see how that goes. My birthday stream for this year might be the charity one. Might be. Even though that probably is going to happen after my birthday. I'm gonna answer a question that I got from Patreon. Hi Mia. Hi. Hello. I have been thinking a lot about misinformation lately, and I wanted to hear if you have any ideas or thoughts about how to fight it, and the general rise of radical, mostly right-wing ideas, mostly in regard to human rights issues, fear-mongering and blaming minorities, and I don't mean a fascist-owned in a debate kind of way. I mean, what can be done to prevent the need to blame LGBTQ people for ruining the sanctity of the family, Muslims for invading the West, Lizard people for everything else? You get the idea. I feel like a lot of the conversation is focused on restricting hate speech and social reach of radical groups, same with addressing the wormhole effect on YouTube. However, it's just likely making these people less heard and potentially angrier, rather than addressing why they have become radicalized. This, to me, it sounds similar as criminalizing something to stop it from happening. There are many examples where this doesn't work. I guess education would be key, and maybe strengthening communities and to make sure that less people feel left out, lonely and vulnerable to misinformation. But it would be interesting to hear if you others on the chat have any ideas on what could be the good approaches. Sounds like whatever we do now will have a massive wave of hatred post-pandemic. However, maybe there's something that can be done about it in the long run. Sorry for the long ramble, because it's not a very chill hangout topic. That's fine. I don't really know. I made a video about anti-intellectualism like 2.5 years ago, something like that. So that's something. I think I talk about like some issues there, probably not all issues, but some of them. I think a large part of that is like that you probably already mentioned, that like, you know, education and like community support, like these things are pretty important when it comes to combating these ideas. But I don't think like obviously that's not going to be the end all be all of the discussion. I think there has to be like always some sort of like anti bigotry movement to combat bigoted ideas. Like, yeah, but at the same time, a lot of people like seek out more extremist viewpoints, as you say, because they sense that something is like wrong with society. They see something being amiss, and they misattribute the cause of it. So like if someone is really concerned about, for example, like degeneration in the family or whatever, they're gonna look for causes to that. That's why we have people who like blame divorce rates, or people who blame LGBT people, or people who blame feminism or whatever. Like these people see a problem, so a big part of like the education then has to be sort of like preventing these issues from being seen as a problem in the first place. So like I think a common problem like now in like Europe, for example, or in America, is like declining birth rates, which has a lot of people worried about being like, oh, replacement theory, yeah. Whereas, you know, a good problem to sort of like combat that would have to be like, birth rates are like, wouldn't be to deny that birth rates are declining. It would be like, yes, they are declining, but that's okay. That's fine, actually. There are other solutions to the problems that poses, rather than like going back in history and like trying to undo things that have already happened, if that makes sense. Ranking YouTubers a very slippery slope. You're not an official baguette tuber. We'll see about that. Capitalism makes me feel bad, let's blame the poor. Yeah, that sort of thing. Like, people find solutions to their problems that might not actually be solutions, but it just feels like solutions. Upset Smew 4K8 asks, what song represents this month? What song represents this month? Let's see, March. Is there a song called Boat Unstuck? If there's not a song called Boat Unstuck, then I don't know what. Ides of March. Probably. Yeah, Four Seasons. Something by Vivaldi. Spring by Vivaldi, how about that? Because spring is hitting. At least here. trying to think of like what else is it that I can say really. Like usually I do this as a sort of update thing, but like it really is like business as usual. Things are fine. What else is there? What else can I rant about? What else can I talk about? Obviously, if you have any questions or anything, just put it in the chat and I'll do my best to answer it. But yeah, like things really are just business as usual right now. Like, yeah. Looking forward to talking to Katie later tonight. That'll be fun. I should probably mention. Oh, speaking of streaming, yes. I haven't been streaming video games as much as I would like to. I've sort of worked a little bit on trying to readjust my streaming schedule more to the weekends, and then it turned out that all of my weekends were busy. But hopefully this weekend I'll stream a little video games. That'll be fun. I'm going to probably start playing a new what's it called? A new game of Workers and Resources Soviet Republic, because they're coming up with a pretty big update soon, and I haven't really explored the most recent updates either. So I'm hoping to sort of like get a new update. Business as usual, everything is fine. Yeah, except for COVID. But while America is getting vaccinated by like a surprising speed, nothing is happening here. Nothing is happening here, unfortunately. Like, vaccines in Sweden are like months and months away, at least for people like me. I think we're 5% total vaccinated here. And that's like only like healthcare personnel and older people. I am neither of those things. It will take a long time for me to get into that little snippet where I can actually get a vaccine. But yeah, I'm hoping to play like just more video games more recently. Anyway, like I like streaming and I miss doing it. It's been far too long since I actually like did it properly. But yeah, like right now I'm primarily just like waiting for the new update, which again seems to be gigantic. So can't wait to fuck around with communist helicopters and things of that nature. That'll be interesting. And I'm gonna probably start a new game for that as well. So because the last game that I didn't do a super good job, so I'm probably gonna start a new game. In the Netherlands, you have what I would say two camps of far right thought: the more classical Dutch far and the more newer US far right. The Dutch far right is very racist, but also supports stuff like the welfare state and things like the left-wing economic policies. While the US far right are more focused on right-wing libertarian stuff. Does something similar exist in Sweden? Yeah, very much so. I would say that like the Swedish far right is like far more conservative and has always sort of been pretty conservative, but there aren't that like big libertarianism strain in Sweden. Like a lot of people are pretty pro welfare state even among the far right, but like when Trump got elected, for example, that sort of like hardcore fuck you got mine attitude among some conservatives like got a bit of a resurgence. Like libertarianism became like a cool thing, but it never really like took root anywhere, because the only like liberal parties in Sweden, like actual liberal parties, in terms of like libertarianism, liberty, they're pretty centrist. So, and like in the most recent election, they supported the Social Democratic Party for government rather than the Conservative Party. So there hasn't really been that much for like libertarian far right people to like latch onto, which I think is a good thing. But at the same time, you know, super conservative people, in terms of like racism and social conservatism, is still like pretty bad. Some early Marxists recognized nationalism as a danger, imperiling worker solidarity long before the March of Rome, way back in the late 19th century. I don't know what that's referring to. Is Sweden the largest Tegnell fan still? Yes, 100%. So Sweden has done poorly during COVID. Barely any response, very light restrictions. Only very recently have there actually been like any type of restrictions at all, being like, hey, bars can't be open until like midnight, serving alcohol forever. Like they're doing some very light restrictions, but Sweden has basically not been doing much of anything. I think like a month ago, 2 months ago, that's when they started doing like a mask suggestion in public transport. And that was it. There's not a mandate, but like a suggestion. And a lot of this has been like suggested by a man called Anders Tegnell, which is our like epidemiologist leader person. And ever since like Sweden's death rate has like been like higher than all of our neighbors combined, both in terms of like per capita and just flat death rate, for some reason like a lot of Swedes have just had like hidden themselves from the truth, just ignored everything that's bad and just worships Tegnell as a god, even though demonstrably he has like done poorly. I don't know what's with that. Like a lot of Swedes are really completely stupid when it comes to COVID. Do not fully understand that like having things be open has consequences for like people dying. Like schools here have been like, they never fully closed. Universities have like mostly gone on to being mostly online, but that's because like on their own accord. Like the government has done nothing on that part. Yeah, and even despite these like very few restrictions, there have been like big protests against the restrictions. Like Swedes are completely up their own ass when it comes to this bullshit. Friends will already have the foreign power. Very sorry to hear that. Do you have a favorite historians or history book, independent of the subject? I mean, not really. I mean, that's like, I haven't really read that many like just straight up history books in a long time. Like, it doesn't really happen that much for people for that to happen. Like obviously it's something that I should do more often, but a large part of history is like not really reading other history books, about more just like reading the primary source materials rather than reading what other people have said about it, which is bad. I mean, Piketty is way more of like an economist than an historian, but he does like some history, like economic history work, which I kind of like. So I would probably say Piketty. But, you know, that's economic history and a bit like niche, maybe. But it was a good read. Very good read. Like his, what's it called? Like, he did some sort of like follow up to Capital. I don't remember what it's called. Piketty. Thomas Piketty. Yeah, Capital in the 21st century. Good read. I don't agree with all of it. Like I have pretty big disagreements with a lot of it, but I do like it. Which country's hoarding vaccine could boomerang in a bad way? Yeah, probably. Probably is going to. Like Canada and the US have like hoarded medications like way too much. The European Union has also done it, although the European Union I think is like slightly better on it because the EU has been like a net exporter of vaccines. Although it is kind of fucked up that like vaccines is something to be exported and not like donated, but that's the language of the thing, I guess. It's like the European Union is like slightly better, but like that's a very, very slight advantage. Like the European Union is still like pretty trash when it comes to this. French government has been lying about doing better than our neighbors because they think more about elections next year than the pandemic. Yeah, it seems like a lot of political parties are doing that. Like they think way more about like looking good than being good, which often comes at the cost of actually being good. Tim Snyder? Haven't read Tim Snyder. Haven't read any of David Graeber. I recognize the name. Hang on. Let me do a quick Google. Oh, Bullshit Jobs. I read Bullshit Jobs after I saw another YouTuber make a video about Bullshit Jobs, and very good read. Haven't been able to dig in super much into David Graeber's like more academic work, but you know. Haiyun Shang is also a good pop economist, criticizing capitalism. Constraints that Chang doesn't then take the logical step to socialism and that. Yeah, a lot of these like saving capitalism economists are like I really enjoy their sort of like economic takes, because a lot of the time they will like perfectly describe the issues with capitalism and describe the solutions to it. But will never like call that solution under like an umbrella term or anything. They'll never actually like classify that as anything. Like Piketty, like I think Piketty sort of like really skirts around the issue in Capital, being like, we don't actually need like full Marxists. We don't need actually that. But it would be great if workers had like way more control over their own like production methods, and if there was like a universal like tax code to close loopholes, and like highly fund welfare state systems using like high wealth taxes and inheritance taxes and things of that nature to eliminate economic inequality. And it would be great if you know, workplace democracy was like a more prevalent thing in public discourse, and then never then doesn't dig into it. Canada is barely vaccinating compared to other OECD countries. I've heard that. Anwar Sak is a really good with Marxists. Referred to as classical economic as opposed to neoclassical and Keynesianism. We're getting way into like the weeds of academic discourse here. I left academia for a reason. I'm too bimbo to understand academic literature. That's why I left, and now I make YouTube videos where I get to sound smart but actually not know anything. That's why anyone goes into YouTube, by the way. Like, no, if I was smart enough to actually do academia, I would be there. I'm kidding. International Trans Day of Visibility. Yeah. Mentioning again, I'm going to do a stream with Katie in a bit. Katie's already started. I should drop a link to that, actually. Katie Montgomery. Let's... Whoop. Just going to pause. Going to hang out there in bed after the stream. Haven't caught your streams for a while. You know, it's an end of the month hangout. You're not missing that much, honestly. Like, things are progressing good for the channel, good for me. Things are fine. The world needs more COVID vaccines, and that's it. How's the weather? Rainy. It's definitely spring is hitting Sweden right now. You start doing YouTube videos and then end up making an 8-hour more wind analysis. It will happen one day. It won't take long until I start to analyze like Fallout 4 and the ideation of like fascist aesthetics as part of the Brotherhood of Steel or some bullshit. Like, someone's probably already made it, but one day I'm gonna just collapse and do it. Oh. Debt, a 5,000-year history is also Graber. That's interesting. I feel like I should read that. What's my EU hot take? The EU is great when things are going great. I feel like the European Union, because of like its cooperative nature, is just like an amplifier of stuff. So when things are going great for EU countries, the European Union seems like a wonderful thing, because like you got free movement, like good trade agreements and all that stuff, and I like that. That's good. But when things are going bad, suddenly all of the advantages of the European Union like disappear, because like the UK suddenly doesn't want to like support the infrastructure that can help it in good times. It doesn't want to, like, other European member countries like don't want to like expand the safety net features of the European Union when things are good, and then when things are bad they don't have the safety net features anymore, and then suddenly everything is shitty. So do you still stream games? I do, but I've just been really bad at like actually doing it. I'm on twitch.tv/miamulder, and I want to stream more video games, but oftentimes I find myself lacking the time to do it. But I am planning to do it way more. I'm hoping to do some this weekend. Yeah. Bimbo and philosopher are two sides of the same coin. Very true. The EU is a neoliberal project, so that kind of sucks the unity and no borders to cool. I think the European Union is like generally a good thing that has like good potential. It just sucks that like it sort of inhibits social growth a little bit. Which is not, you know, super practical. What's the best thing about working for yourself? Well, I mean, setting my own hours is pretty great. I made a video about like work recently, which I think mentions a lot of stuff that I talk about. But yeah, like setting my own hours is probably the best one. Like I've had a few jobs. I worked in an office. I've had some other jobs that I didn't really mention in the video. And I straight up cannot work in like a structured, like normal quote unquote workplace. Like I fucking collapse. Like I can't do it. I need to have days when I can work like long hours because I'm in a good mood, and I need days when I can just lay in bed until noon. And I need to have that on my own, like on my own terms. Can you elaborate on how the European Union inhibits social growth? Why do you say this? Well, a lot of like, in order to take part of a lot of like European Union like projects, they also force governments to align with like very like neoliberal policies. So which is not great. There's like a slight, like I don't think the European Union is like bossy in any respect. Like it doesn't really force like bananas to be straight or whatever, to be like curved a specific angle. Like that's obviously bullshit. But there are some things that the European Union is like a bit shady on. Takes a little bit away from like worker organization, which isn't great. European Union is the first organization of its kind. Yeah, like and I think that there are some growing pains with it, but I think it's again generally a good idea. It's okay about streaming. Nothing's worse than a forced stream. That's what I feel too. Whenever I like force myself to stream, I'm like tired, I'm bored, and that doesn't become a good stream. That doesn't become a fun. So, you know, I only stream when I want to, and like I've been a bit busy lately. Hopefully this month I'm going to like resume some of my stuff. Will there be a new Leech Fest soon? I think you found a really good co-host for that podcast. Thank you. Yeah, we sort of came to the idea of Leech Fest together, and I think we're having a good time with it. I think the next episode is going to come out on the 12th. I tweeted something recently. Let me see if I can find the tweet that I said, because I don't remember. 12th, April 12th. But if you go to the Leech Fest Patreon, you can get the episode early. It's about the Black Death. And we're actually recording like this week our episode that's going to come out after that, which is going to be about medieval medicine and magic. What's fucking in tracking? We're talking shit about the European Union, apparently. Wonder how we got into there. Bethesda really saw the Brotherhood of Steel and said, are these the good guys? They really did. Fallout 4 is such a bad game. Holy shit. A lot of people seem to be skeptical of the COVID vaccines, which is kind of understandable. It's intuitive to be scared of some liquids going in your bloodstream that have potential side effects. Yeah, I like, you know, I'm not. There was some like scare about the AstraZeneca vaccine causing like blood clots recently, which was like, but from what people can see and from the studies currently, it seems like the vaccine is like not that side effecty and seems like in general like a good thing. I can't wait to get the vaccine, honestly. Like the second 2 weeks have passed after my second dose of the vaccine, which is how long you're supposed to wait before you can like be out and about. Oh my god, I can't wait to go to a bar again. I haven't been to a bar in freaking ages. Haven't been to a bar in over a year. Like I just want to have a cold cider. And enjoy one. And I could have done that if I was like more sloppy, but I'm not, because I try to be as good as I can with COVID. Like, you know, Jesus. Isn't the European Union parliamentary system inherently undemocratic? Kind of. I think someone mentioned that like it's mostly because people don't really know how it works, and that's true. Like I know, like I know more about how the American electoral system works than how the European Union electoral system works. That's not because I'm like obsessed with America. That's because the European Union sort of information about this is completely non-existent. the European Union is super bad at communicating anything that they do, which makes them seem way more like, you know, a shadowy, malicious organization in the background, which is completely chaotic, which is not how it's supposed to be. So like whenever there's a European election, there's no information really of how it works. But it is technically democratic because it's a sort of like mixture between like regional representation and also like population representation. And that's because like it's very much like, you know, America founding thing, you know, like not every state needs to have some sort of like independence and like has its own representation no matter how small it is. But at the same time, population does matter. So it's like this balancing act thing. In 100 years or whatever, when like the European Union is like a country, people will probably talk about like the states having unfair representation and how Sweden is like unfairly represented because of its low population. But them's the breaks. Give me the anti-COVID juice. Love anti-COVID juice. mRNA vax uses some ribosome cells to manufacture red proteins to induce an immune response, and it's easier than a traditional vaccines to mass produce fast. That makes sense. Damn Luxembourg voters with the tax money. Yeah. This has sort of evolved into a rant about the European Union, which is, this wasn't really supposed to be that. But so I'm going to round off the stream for today. But it's fine, you know, there's no rules. Usually I have more to say than this. Today has been like really, what's it called? A really like nothing stream, unfortunately. But that's because the month that has been fine. The month that is coming up is looking good. I have some big projects in the work which I'm looking forward to making. Yeah, like, you know, things are going the way they're going. So I'm going to head out. I'm going to be free for like an hour or something like that. I'm gonna make some soup. I'm going to eat some soup. I'm going to eat some bread. It's gonna be a good time. And then like, I have no idea when. Like in an hour or something. Yeah, in an hour and 15 minutes, I'm going to hang out with Katie Montgomery on her stream to raise some money for the mental health charity Mind Out. LGBT mental health charity even. So that'll be good. I'm gonna pop a link in the description for that. So that'll be good. Feel a bit better. Thanks for the stream. I hope. My goal with everything that I do is to make people feel better, and I hope that this stream has done that for all of you that are listening. And if not, I hope there are other things that will help too. Probably soup. Soup helps everything. And with that, I'm going to head out, and I will see you all at Katie's channel, or if you're not going to hang out there, you'll probably see me maybe this weekend when I'll play some games on Twitch, which I'm hoping to do. And maybe I have some surprise coming up even before that, but we'll see about that. And I'll head out. See you then. Bye.